When the day of Pentecost had come, the disciples were all together in one place. And suddenly from heaven there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind. Happy birthday, Holy Comforter. Today is your parish birthday, and it's also the birthday of the Church Universal. The bad news is that I'm going to speak not just about the Pentecost lesson, but the entire book of Acts. The good news is that I have only two simple points. Church change and life change. They both happen. The story of Pentecost is from the Acts of the Apostles, better known as the Acts of the Holy Spirit. Every important thing that happens in Acts is done through people by God's Spirit. To get the point, you have to know when and why this book was written. In the first generation of Christianity, the apostles were the leaders of the movement. They were the rock stars of our faith. But then they began to die off, so people were anxious. Without Peter, Paul, Barnabas, James, and the rest, could the church go on? Luke's point is that it wasn't really about the apostles after all. It was about God. Whatever the apostles did, they did by the power of God's Spirit. Leaders come and leaders go, but the Holy Spirit is still here. A young priest was called to his first rectorate. His first Sunday in the receiving line, an old church member named Joe said, "Glad to meet you. I'm a fore and aft Episcopalian." "What's that?" the priest asked. Joe replied, "I was here before you, and I'll be here after you." Well, the Holy Spirit is a fore and aft Episcopalian. Truth be told, the Holy Spirit will outlast even Joe. Holy Comforter has seen a lot of turnover. Father Bill left to become rector of St. Albans. Deacon Linda was redeployed. Mother Kim became director of Cathedral Ridge. We have changed leadership in youth ministries. Our parish administrator Jackson has begun a new career. And beloved lay leaders have moved to other cities. None of these people, not one, left because of anything wrong at Holy Comforter. They all moved on in the ordinary course of life. A 9-year rectorate is a good run. A 3-year assistant rectorate is a good run. No one left because of anything wrong here. It was just the way things go. Impermanence is part of life. In 500 BC, Heraclitus said, "Change is the only constant in life." The rate of change has not slowed down. We have ups and downs, people come and go, but as Frank Sinatra said, this fine old world just keeps turning around. Act's simple point is that the Holy Spirit works through us, and when we aren't here, the Holy Spirit keeps acting through new people. We don't place our faith in the people, however noble and gifted they may be. We place our faith in the Holy Spirit. Luke wrote Acts as the sequel to his gospel. In Luke's gospel, just what makes Jesus the Christ? You might say the virgin birth, but how did that happen? The angel said to Mary, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you." Jesus was born by the Holy Spirit. At Jesus' baptism, Luke says, he was full of the Holy Spirit. When he began his ministry, Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor." It is the Holy Spirit that makes Jesus the Christ, just as it was the Holy Spirit that made the apostles apostles, just as it is the Holy Spirit that makes priests in ordination, and makes all of us Christians in baptism. Remember, each of you is sealed by the Holy Spirit in baptism and marked as Christ's own forever. Not until the next clergy transition, forever. Change is hard. Change is just a lot of trouble. But Zorba the Greek said, trouble, life is trouble. Only in death is there no trouble. Life is change, and change is unsettling. Life is unsettling. We are not made to be settled. We are made to be on the move, like Abraham, like Jesus, like the apostles. Change is a sign the Holy Spirit is moving among us. The Holy Spirit is always changing things. In Thessalonica, they prosecuted the apostles for, quote, turning the world upside down, end quote. That's just what they were doing, guilty, because they were acting from the Holy Spirit, and that's what the Holy Spirit does. She turns the world upside down, then she turns it downside up. She blows the status quo open to new and unforeseen life. So, where do we place our faith? In each other, yes, but only because the Holy Spirit lives in us, inspires us, and guides us toward wisdom. The apostles came and went. Clergy come and go, but the Holy Spirit is still here. This isn't just about the church. It's about all of life. The pandemic, for example, has disrupted our lives. Some of the old ways will come back, but not all of them. And there will be new ways we cannot yet foresee. That's unsettling. We are apt to miss the past and feel anxious about the future. That's natural. But hold on to this. God never changes, but God changes everything. Henry Ward Beecher said, our days are a kaleidoscope. Every instant a change takes place. New harmonies, new contrast, new combinations of every sort. The most familiar people stand each moment in some new relation to each other, to their work. Every instant a change takes place. New harmonies, new contrast, new combinations. It is foolish and futile to place our faith in the familiarity of the status quo. We place our faith on the solid rock of God's love for us. You can take that to the bank. God's love is the constant that lies behind and beneath and before all the change. Trusting God gives us the courage to live, knowing that life is change. We know where the change is headed, deeper and deeper into the source, the destiny, the meaning, and the infinite beauty of everything.